who grow up in a very dysfunctional home. And they both experience the tragedy of their father's death when they're very young. And as a result, they cling together. But something happens that forces them apart. And the younger sister, Janie, leaves and abandons her home and her sister, even though they were very close, and for 20 years. When Janie learns that she's dying of cancer, she returns. And she returns with the motive to destroy her mother's killer. The book is really about the struggle of those two sisters and how they dealt with that dysfunctional life that they had, and then how Janie is going to deal with righting the wrongs that happened in the past. In her view, that's what she needs to do. I'm terrible with titles. At least I thought I was. I struggled with this because this book has so many various themes, and so how do you get a title for it? So like anything else, when I get stuck, I move away from it. It's like when I'm doing the crossword puzzle. I'll be doing the crossword puzzle, and I'll get stuck in, don't you always get stuck in a corner where you can't go anywhere? It's like you can get all the rest of the puzzle, but that corner you can't get. Leave it alone, go do something else, and boom, all the answers fall into place. And that's what happened with The Clock Strikes Midnight. It was clear to me, as soon as I said it, The Clock Strikes Midnight, Janie was running against a clock. Would she make it? Would she accomplish what she needed to do in time? It was the essence of the book. The main characters are Janie, the younger sister, and Marlene, the older sister. Those two characters really make up the two protagonists in the book. And the book is written so that there's a different point of view each chapter. So that you have Janie's point of view in one chapter, then you get a different perspective and a different world when you enter Marlene's point of view in the next chapter. And it's a really good way when you switch point of views like that to build suspense. And that's how I like books. Those are the books I read. And I decided when I wrote this book, I wanted to write a book that I would want to read. And I really like that kind of suspense where you finish the chapter and you really want to know what happens next with Janie, but then Marlene enters. So you got to wait. And then you're really happy with whatever happens with Marlene, but you got to wait because the next chapter is Janie. So it's a way to help build suspense when you have those two, and also for the readers to get deeper into the minds of those characters. The third point of view is the mother, Eloise. Eloise comes in because she had to. It's not something I planned. I was riding along, going from point of view to point of view, and of course Eloise, her history and the history of what happened to those young girls when they were children is underlying. It's an undercurrent. And the readers know little snippets about it, but they don't know the whole story. And all of a sudden Eloise kept tapping me on the shoulder while I was writing. It was like tap, tap. I want to tell my part. I want to tell my story. I want to tell what the way I see it. And I had no choice. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to let her go. And if it works, fine. If it doesn't work, I'll take it out. Well, she had to tell her story, and it did work. The book is set in Atlanta, Georgia. It's close to where I live. And that was easier for me to set a book in an environment that I know and understand. And so I decided Atlanta was the place. Part of the book comes from Savannah. There's a little bit in Savannah, and at one writing, I have more of it that takes place in Savannah, another place I know very well. But Atlanta seemed right. I needed a bigger city. I wanted a larger city, but I wanted a smaller environment within that city. And so I chose Decatur, which I happen to know very well. And it's just, Decatur is like a small island in the middle of the larger city. And it felt right. Furthermore, the fictitious neighborhood, which plays a big part in my book, Briardale Lane, fit beautifully in Atlanta, right near the Emory campus. And that area is so beautiful with the oak trees and the old homes. I could just see Marlene and Janie walking down that street as children, and it was the right neighborhood for me. I want my readers to feel entertained. I want them to experience, when they're finished with that, this was a great book, and pass it on to a friend. I want them to feel as though they couldn't put it down. They want to turn the page and find out what happens next. That's the way I like to read, and that's what I want my readers to experience. I want them to be surprised more than anything. Readers can find out more about me primarily from my website, which is www.joancurtis.com. There I have a bio, I've got all my books. They can order my books directly from my website or go to all the outlets such as Amazon or Barnes & Noble or any of the other outlets online. I also have a blog, and I'm very proud of my blog. I enjoy blogging, and I have a lot of information, including book reviews on books I've read, as well as author interviews with other authors, so that readers can hear about other authors and the way they write in their style. So they can go to my website. They can also find me very easily on Amazon. I have an Amazon authors page. I have an authors page on Goodreads for the readers that like to use Goodreads. And also a Facebook page. And my Facebook page is Joan C Curtis Author at Facebook. And so I'm easy to find. In fact, if you Google me, if you Google Joan C Curtis, I'm going to pop right up there. If you Google just Joan Curtis, you'll have to look a little bit, because there are quite a few Joan Curtises in the world.